place. And I'm like, I've been sitting here for about 5 minutes.
Nah, man, I don't know what he doing. Let me see. I'm gonna send it to invite. Okay. Guys, we're gonna go ahead and let everybody get prepared to come on board. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started here in about 2 minutes, man. We're gonna wait. We're waiting for our partner to hop on. Dr. Irvin, how you doing today, sir? Think you're muted out. I can't hear you.
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic, man. We're just waiting on our main man, Dr. Leslie Peters, to hop on with us, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Hold on just a minute. Let me send him that invite. Okay, yeah. Are you there, sir? Can you hear me? All right, here we go. All right, folks, I want to welcome to another edition of the Credit Master Show. I'm your host, Emmanuel Mike. I'm joined by Mr. Leslie Peters. He's joined us. He is in the house. We also have attorney Charles Irvin as well. How you gentlemen doing today?
Doing great. Doing great.
All right, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, we're just excited for everybody hopping on this live broadcast today. And we always come here, we're going to be coming here every day for the next 30 days, folks, giving you the tools, strategies, and insights that you need in order to improve on your personal credit, on your business credit. If you have a company, any type of business development tools and strategies that you need, we're going to also be providing those as well. And we're just excited to be here giving you this fantastic information. Like I said, my name is Emmanuel Michael. I'm the member of the Credit Masters. Dr. Charles Irvin, attorney Charles Irvin, and Leslie Peters, they're with the law firm of Irving-Law. You can also go to their website, go to their Facebook page at irving-law.com. Their Facebook page is backslash after the .com or Facebook URL. That's Irving Law PLLC. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Great, great, great. So we definitely want to make sure that we give people updates throughout this broadcast so they can get in contact with you guys, because I've had people asking different questions over the last couple of days, and we just excited. So we want to make sure we're pointing them in the right direction. Now, folks, just tell you a little bit about who we are and what we do. Our company, we challenge 100% of all the negative items on the credit report. And we do that by using a law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 1971. And that law was set up and put in place to protect you as a consumer from the big three credit reporting agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Now, the law says that these guys must follow over 300 plus steps per item before placing anything negative on your credit report. So anything that's negative, inaccurate, erroneous, or obsolete can come off by using this law and using our program. And because we use the law, we make sure it comes off permanently so it's not placed back on there again. Now, we're going to go a little bit more into detail about that, because some of the questions that we had and some things that we've noticed over the last couple of days since we've been doing this broadcast, Attorney Irvin, you can chime in on this, is a lot of people, they're getting hit with collection. Some of this stuff gets deleted off the credit report. However, it gets reinserted back on the file. It gets reinserted back on the file once it's taken off. Can you give us any type of what type of legal ramifications, or what can a person do to protect their rights as a citizen from a corporation or a company reinserting things back on their credit report?
Manual, one of the things you want to look out for is how it was taken off of the credit in the first place. So a lot of times people feel like, okay, let's write the dispute letter, and they may take it off, but what they do is they take your information that you used in the dispute letter, update your information in the file, and reinsert it on your credit report. So at that point, you have to start seeking legal remedies, and that's where the court system comes in and the Credit Act, because they may be justified in updating the information, but we have to look at the age of it, the type of collection it is, whether it's third party. There's all kind of things that need to be looked at. And so that's where I come in as an attorney to give you assistance.
Okay. Okay. Now, what about the data last activity as well? I notice a lot of practices for a couple companies, collection agencies that I'm familiar with working with from several files over the last couple of years. Not only would they reinsert these items back on the credit report, but when they do their reinsertion, what they do is they move the data last activity. And what we want people to understand is, if they move the data last activity, and typically a negative item on your credit report can last anywhere from 7 to 10 years. Well, they just put you back in financial prison for another 5 or 6 or 7 years, depending on how long that thing has been on there. And if you're coming up on your 6th year, they pull this junk debt out the garbage, move the data last activity. So now you're looking at another 7 to possibly 10 years of this item being placed on your credit report. Now, what can Irving Law do to assist individuals with that type of situation going on?
Well, that's where we need good record keeping, and that's where you come in as electronic discovery professional, because we want to look at when the changes were made, how they were made, and how that reflects when compared to activity. And count that dispute as last activity, because that's something with the bureau. And a lot of times they try to get away with that because people don't go back and check.
Right. Go ahead, Dr. Peters. You want to chime in on that?
Yeah, and the one thing to be careful with there is that data last activity is so important when you look at credit and when you decide what really needs to be removed off the credit report and what really should stay. So it's a couple of things you want to look at. If a debt is that old, if it's outside of 2 years, and certainly if it's older than 4 years, it's really not affecting your score that much if it's just depending on what it is, if you look at the score. So if you look at how much it's affecting your score versus how much has happened with the length of your history, then we got to add it up. So if it's a payment history issue that we're dealing with on that credit score, after it gets so old, it's not really hurting you that much. It might be hurting you a few points, maybe 5 or 10 points, but your length of credit history is helping you a lot more than that old debt is hurting you. So you got to know when to touch it. Also, with collection agencies, they are notorious that anytime you talk to them, I mean, a single phone conversation, anything you talk to them, you need to make sure you've already analyzed it and made a decision that is a debt you need to address. Because anytime you have any contact with them, they will change your date of last activity on your credit report. So therefore, something that was about to be off your credit report in 2 months, you just kicked it for another 7 years. So you got to be very careful with those things. Date of last activity is very critical and very important.
Attorney Charles, let me ask you, how legal is that? Is that legal for them to move the data last activity like that?
I think it's not being challenged enough. So legal, yes, but it needs to be challenged, because what happens, that's not a credit issue, that's a bureau issue. So that needs to be challenged.
Got you. And again, folks, we want you to go to irvin-law.com. Go to the website. If you have any questions, you have any situations arising where you may need an additional help outside of credit, you need a legal mind or an attorney to hop on the case, go ahead and contact Dr. Charles Irving. If you know that you need your credit reports and your credit scores to be improved, you want to give Mr. Leslie Peters a call, because these two gentlemen are the 1-2 punch to help you go to the next level and take your life over that hump. Because we talked about the credit slump on yesterday in episode 2. In episode 1, the whole premise was credit matters, and it does matter. And a lot of people think that credit doesn't matter. I'll just use cash. And when they start a company, they start a business, they're self-employed, they're trying to go to the next level, and they realize how important credit is, because there's certain things you can't do with your business and your company because you may have some crap like a collection agency on your credit report. That could stop you from potentially, that's the difference in paying a 6% interest rate and a 22% interest rate sometimes.
Yes.
And that's what we want. Right, Dr. Peters?
You're right. And it's just like I gave the example yesterday. I was having a discussion with two people, and one person was trying to figure out how somebody could drive a luxury car and have a lower payment than they had, and they were driving a hoopty. And so they couldn't understand it. And that just comes down to that perfect analogy of what you just gave. 6%, 18 or higher percent, it determines a lot of things. Also determines your insurance rate. So once you get that new car, your insurance rate on that car, it determines, believe it or not only your insurance, but even other factors that we don't even think about. Credit companies, utility companies, they run and check your credit also, determines what kind of specials, what kind of rate they can give you. They do all these things as they assess and say, is this person a good credit risk or not? And if you're a high credit risk, their theory is, I'm going to get as much of my money up front, I'm going to make you pay a deposit, and I'm going to get my money. So guess what? If you don't pay, or if you're a bad credit risk and you just a couple of days late, I'm shutting yours off. Whereas this person is a good credit risk, they always pay, I'll let it ride. So, your quality of life changes drastically. Mm-hmm. And the message that I want to send to everybody is, if you don't like your current reality, it doesn't have to be your reality.
That's right.
That 3-digit score does not have to hurt you. It does not have to cause you pain. All of us make mistakes in life. You deserve better. There's a better path for you. And at Irvin Law, we'd like to help you get there.
That's right, folks. So go ahead and like us on Facebook. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Charles.
I was gonna say, don't forget about employment, because people tend to forget that there are certain jobs that have a credit component to them, and it can affect everything from security clearances to actual hire at the federal level. So you want to be clear of that, because we talk about underemployment and unemployment. Bad credit score can affect your employment status.
Absolutely. And folks, we want you to go to irvin-law.com. We want you to go to creditmasterslive.com. Put your information in. We got some freebies for you on these websites, because if you listening to this broadcast right now, we got about 15 more minutes on this broadcast. We want you to be able to follow along with us. We want you to know a little bit about some of the things we're discussing. So we want you to have the tools in place, because as you get these tools, we're going to show you how to use it. We're not in the business of, taking your money, getting you signed up and pushing you on your way. We're about restoration. Our company is about restoring your credit, giving you the tools and insights so you don't get caught up in the pitfalls that most people get caught up with credit. You made a statement earlier, Dr. Peters. You talked about the difference in having a less than perfect credit score and a perfect credit score in pricing. I had a gentleman call me last night, and the gentleman, he was with one of our competitors. He's paying about $119 a month for credit repair. This company has gone in and they have butchered his credit report. I was so mad. They butchered his credit report. They just went in and they just deleted. And when they did this, I said, what in the world? Why did they take this off? Yeah, you had a couple late pays, but you got 4 years of good payment history over here. So why did they delete that off? So folks, before you go calling somebody, you just pulling forms off the internet. You're trying to do all this stuff yourself. Yes, you can do it yourself. However, it still takes a professional eye to know what to pull off the credit report, because it's just like surgery. Okay. When you turn over your personal financial portfolio to somebody, you want to make sure they know what they're doing. You don't want to just turn your personal financial portfolio over to somebody. You're paying them $119 a month. You look up a year and a half later, you went from a 585 to a 595. He went from a 585 to a 595, Dr. Peters.
In 18 months.
18 months, man. 18 months. And he's like, man, I don't know what else to do. He has a $5,000 loan on the building. He has a truck that he got last year. So what I see is he don't have any credit established. He's not growing and building any credit. And that's some of the things you're going to learn here at Credit Masters, folks. And with Urban Law, we're going to teach you and show you how to grow and build your credit. The fastest way to raise your credit score is to raise your high credit limit. If you don't know how to do that, if you don't have a company teaching you or showing you how to raise your high credit limit, guess what? You're in the wrong place and you need to run. You need to run fast as you can to get away from them. I don't care if you've been in business with them for 6 months. You need to cancel that service and you need to give Urban Law a call, because we the real deal. We the Credit Masters. The results are real. And I'm not ashamed to say it. You know, a lot of people always say, man, I remember him back on the radio. This guy got a big ego. I can have a big ego because I know we know what we're doing. We take pride in our doing. It's not ego. It's passion. It's passion. I get upset when I see that kind of stuff. When you see people spending their hard-earned money, and you got some creditors out here, just these companies out here just taking their money. So we want to point you in the right direction, give you the proper tools that you need in order to go to the next level. Now, moving right along to the next phase, we want to talk about business credit mastery. We want to talk about more or less business mastery, because in order to master business credit, you got to first master getting your business established. And I know Dr. Irvin, Dr. Peters, you guys are experts and professionals in helping with business development, getting corporations set up, 501c3s, franchise agreements. So what I want to do, I want to talk to the people that's watching and listening to us right now. If you filed a Schedule C on your tax return, if you're self-employed on your tax return, we need to talk. You need to go to creditmasterslive.com and we need to talk. So what me and Dr. Peters talked about, you know, we've actually putting a course together. We're putting information together. We're going to help people that's suffering from being in that rut. You know, you start your own business, and I know you can chime in on this, Attorney Irvin, at any time. Individuals that start their company, start their business, they're growing, they're building, but you know, they don't have any type of opportunity. The opportunity cost, they don't even know what that is. They don't even know what a cash flow analysis is. We just basically hustling. So what we want to do is help you. You know, we want everybody to live the American dream, but we want to help you and get you in the right situation where you're not getting yourself in trouble. Because if you're not legally set up, you can get in trouble. You can get audited with the IRS. You know, the feds can come in on you because they don't care the fact that you didn't know something.
Right.
They don't care you to know it. Oh, I was just doing it. Oh, I just thought this is just how we do it. No. I seen a lot of people get messed up like that. I see a lot of people get less than. So feel free to hop in on that anytime.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, not knowing it is not an excuse, and it's certainly, I'm sure Charles will agree with me. It's certainly not going to hold up in court. But you know, I think there's some basics. You know, you hit something that was critical. Just the basics of 501c3. A lot of people don't know there's two forms. So depending on what you're trying to do with your 501c3 and what your financial projections look like, you may need to file the 1023-EZ, which is a much shorter form, much simpler form. And it just really bothers me when I see people paying the $8.95 federal fee plus the fee to get somebody to help them, which normally for a full 1023, that can range as much as between $1,500 and $2,500 to have someone help you with that, including the fee. And they really needed to be filing the 1023 EZ, which that fee is half. That could have been, the whole thing could have been done for $8.95. So you got to understand what your needs are, which structure actually fits you better. And a lot of people don't realize if you don't have revenue projected over $50,000, you have no business filing the 1023 full form. Not in the first 3 years. So those little things just really get underneath my skin. And so Charles said it yesterday. We can help you. We can work with you. We can help you reach your goals. But you got to pick up the phone and give us a call. Shoot us an email.
Give them that number.
All right. So I'm making it real simple for you. You can give us a call, and we got multiple numbers here. Any one of them will get to us. The best thing I'll tell you, you go to our website.
Don't take them too fast. Give them one number.
Let me be real simple. I'm gonna give you one number. Here it is: 601-340-6800. 601-340-6800, or go to www.urban-law.com.
Absolutely, folks. Absolutely. So, when we talk about business and we talk about growing and establishing business credit, we talk about, the development of your company. The first thing a lot of people may not know that's very important is the name of your business, and the type of business structure. You can name your business something that may not be attractive or appealing to a lender. You can choose the wrong business structure as you're setting up where a lender may not feel comfortable with giving you a loan. And if you take that and add that along with having poor personal credit, then you're never going to get anywhere.
So why don't you give them an example of that, Emmanuel? Give them an example of a bad business name that might cause the lender to have pause.
JB's Rib Shack.
Tell me why, as a lender, that might cause me to have a little hesitation.
If I'm a lender, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look at where JB's Rib Shack is located. It may be out his house. So he's serving food out his house. Or he just traveled and he got him a food truck or whatever he's doing. But along the way, when he set his company up, he did not set his company up the right way. He didn't get him you can get something as simple, guys, as a virtual office to set your company up right. That will get over the hump, because when you got a off-brand name, or you don't name your business right, or you name your company something that somebody else has that same name, it can be, I don't want to call any names out there for legal purposes, but you can name your company something that you can name, let's say Apple. I don't think Apple gonna mind about that. If I name my company Apple, everybody gonna want to know why you naming your company Apple, but you working out your home, so it looks like fraud to me. Mm-hmm. You're not Apple, So the name of your business is very important. Okay, the company structure is very important based on what you're doing and what you're trying to do for your company. If you're in the food business, if you're in the home healthcare business, you cutting grass, and all that plays a part as you grow and get your structure in place, and you're attempting to get business vendor credit or get a line of credit with a bank. If you're trying to get those things, they're going to look at all that stuff. And if you tackle bad credit on top, personal credit on top of that, you're in a lose-lose situation.
That's a good point. I mean, then there's. Go ahead, Charles.
Let's back up one step, and that is, you need to do a proper name search, because they're starting a business without the structure. That's correct. But you also don't want to have the same name as another business, or a name that doesn't distinguish you enough from your competitors. because you don't want to be construction and there's already an ABC construction out there. Maybe you need to be 1, 2, 3. You know, see what I did there?
Yeah.
but there's a proper name search that needs to be done before you get into that. So I like to tell people, nuts and bolts wise, you want to sit down and start working on your business plan. What does that do for you? It helps you establish a name. It helps you with goals. It helps you outline your vision for your company. If you can't do it, there are plenty of help sites online. We can help you as well. Mm-hmm. We can help you from A to Z. But that's where you want to start, because once you identify that name and purpose and vision and what type of budget you want to work with, what type of projections you have, then you can move towards growing the business once that stuff is solidified. But you don't run out there and do it haphazardly, because then you find yourself in a position where you're right there being competitive, but you need to grow. And you haven't taken care of the backside of the business, where that backside of the accounts when you walk into that financial institution.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. It almost, the way I sum it up, you have to design the structure of your business logistically, how it operates in terms of how you process customers. You got to design it from day one that you can handle 1,000 customers a day just as well as you can handle 10 customers a day. Mm-hmm. You gotta know scale, and then you gotta know at what numerical entry points, once you increase by so many, when you have to make another investment and what the amount of that investment will be, whether it's additional staff, whether it's additional equipment, all of those things, you need to have it planned out. So for example, for us, we know when we hit X amount of customers, we got to do this. When we hit this number, and we got to do this. And so, not saying that everything always works out to the plan, but if you have a plan, then you can adjust, monitor and adjust.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about people who had started their company already? They had a name, they had a vision. They say, you know what, I'm leaving my job, I'm going to start my company, start my business, but they really don't know. They're kind of learning along the way. Okay. What can we do, or what can Urban Law do to assist individuals that are stuck in that situation, or in a situation they want to grow? They've been in business maybe a year and a half, and they realize that, hey, there's a lot of stuff I really don't know out here, and I really need to get my business profitable. I need to go to the next level. What can we do in order to help them and assist them with getting to that next level?
Well, I would say this same thing I said yesterday. Pick up the phone and call, because a 30-minute consultation won't cost you anything, but you'll walk away with some nuggets that may be able to help you outline the next 3 to 5 steps you need to take to get your business on solid ground.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Dr. Peters, you give us that number one more time. That's
601-340-6800. Again, 601-340-6800, and our urban-law.com. Also, Emmanuel, before we leave today, remind me I had a couple emails about people that couldn't quite get to the offer from yesterday. So we'll put that up again and give people an opportunity to get to that.
Yeah, matter of fact, let's go ahead and touch on that, because, it's summertime. If it's summertime, you're self-employed, you Schedule C person, you got your own business, or you're just an individual that need to get your credit in order, you need to get your credit reports restored, and you need to get something done real quick, real fast. What you want to do, folks, is you want to take advantage of our our emergency stabilization kit. And Dr. Peters, he's going to explain to you about the emergency stabilization kit. But we have a URL. You can actually go to changemyscores.com. That's scores with an S, www.changemyscores.com. And you can get that emergency stabilization kit for only $9. Now, the regular price on that is like $99, but we got a special promotion going on right now while we're doing this 30-day blitz with these Facebook Lives where you can take advantage of this not with for only $9. Now, Dr. Peters, let's go ahead and tell the audience what's in that kit and why is it so important.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just goes back to what Charles was talking about. We're going to give you some tools for less than a cost for lunch that you can immediately start working on your score. And so the first thing you're going to get two official letters. One to deal with removing hard inquiries off your credit report. You can just factor every hard inquiry that's not authorized within the last that's on your credit report. Costs you about anywhere between 4 and 6 points each. Mm-hmm. And then we also are giving you a letter designed specifically for collection agencies to deal with them. As we talked about that yesterday, and a lot of people dealing with collection agencies and trying to get those things removed. So those are two letters there. In addition, we're going to give you a debt reduction plan and calculator that actually shows you the plan of how to get out of debt, what you need to pay, how much you need to be paying on this card. And I've updated the tool. So not only do you have the snowball method, which is my personal favorite, but there's several methods, some of the best practice methods you can choose from to help you get out of debt. But snowball is my favorite, so it's defaulted to that. But all the other options are built into that tool. So again, and the last but not least, we're going to give you a credit utilization calculator. This tool right here is directly responsible for 30% of your credit score. So just imagine this. If you don't do anything else in these 30 days, but get this right and you pick up the emergency stabilization kit for $9.99, just go to changemyscores.com and it'll take you right there. You pick up that kit. Just think, if you were taking a test, if you don't get the credit utilization right, the highest you can make is a 7. The absolute highest, no matter what you do, you can only make a 7. So you're not going to be an A student that way. You're not going to be a B student that way. You're barely hanging on to a C. So just by picking up the credit utilization tool alone, you can immediately start attacking something that represents 30% of your credit score. So that's what's in the tool. Again, 4 great, powerful tools. These are real letters, sample letters. They're legal. They fall right in line with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You can use them right away. They are there for you. Pick them up while they last. Again, we have a certain amount that we're going to let go, and it's either the full 30 days or when they're out, they're out. For $9.95. changemyscores.com.
That's amazing, folks. And, guys, we definitely appreciate you all hopping on here. I know you're so busy, taking time out your busy schedule to tune in to this Facebook Live broadcast so we can going to continue to give you more and more information about your business credit, about your personal credit, development of your company, all the advice you need to go from A to Z with Irvin Law, folks. And again, let's go ahead and recap this. Our company, what we do, we challenge 150% of all the items that's on your credit report. We do that by using a law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and that law was set up to protect you and I as the consumer from the big 3 credit reporting agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. The law says they must follow so many laws per item before placing anything negative on your credit report. So anything that's negative, inaccurate, erroneous, and obsolete can come off by using this law, using our program. And because we use the law once it's off permanently, so you'll never have to worry about it popping back on there again. Now, we customize all your disputes for you and your investigations and make sure these folks follow the law and do their job. Now, the cost for the program is only $50 down, folks. That's right, $50 down and $69 a month. That $50 down, folks, that's a one-time setup fee, money-back guarantee. If you don't like the service, hey, you can talk to these guys, and I know they're going to do what they got to do, to make sure you're happy. However, I will tell you one thing. For $50 to get started, you're not going to beat that price point nowhere in the country with the level of expertise and knowledge that it's going to take for a team to get this done. Just to sit down and talk to an attorney of the caliber of Dr. Charles Irvin. I keep calling him doctor, but he also has the Juris Doctorate and he has a PhD. So to get his time is very, very valuable, folks. And to get with Mr. Leslie Peters, to get their time is very valuable. So to even think about $50, that's a blink of an eye for the success and the work that you're going to get on the back end. You know, if you want that car, if you want that new job, if you want that house, if you want that extra money to do some remodeling in your home, you need to give us a call. You need to give us a call at 601-340-6800. Again, at 601-340-6800. Go to www.changemyscores.com, www.changemyscores.com. And if you want information on all three of these areas that we're discussing over the next 30 days, personal credit, business development, go to creditmasterslive.com. Put your information in. We got some freebies over there for you as well. Again, go get your stabilization kit, guys. Tune in tomorrow from 5:15 to 5:45 Central Time. If you're on the East Coast, New York, Atlanta area, we out here in the A. Hop on at 6:15 tomorrow.
Emmanuel,
6:15 to drive at 5. Go ahead, sir.
One more thing. Just got a couple questions about the new regulations with the credit bureaus and the credit scores. We'll tackle that tomorrow as well. And so tune in tomorrow and we'll tackle that and dive into what that really means for you and if your score is going to go up.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. I'm glad you brought that up. I've been wanting to talk about that. I keep forgetting, but I'm glad somebody asked that question. We got some good nuggets for them tomorrow, so definitely tune in, guys. If you're in your car, driving in your car, we want you to call your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin, and everybody. Tell them that we live on air. We're going to be here tomorrow at 5:15 to 5:45 Central Time. If you're on the East Coast, you know that's an hour ahead. If you're in LA, we don't care if you're in LA. We still can help you. You 3 hours behind, we can help you. Tune in tomorrow, 15 after the top of the hour, and we are going to get you the information on the new regulations and changes that the FTC mandated the credit reporting agencies to take. As always, folks, our motto here at the Credit Masters and Urban Law, the results are real.